We may feel like when we shut our garage doors that they're entirely secure. As this family learned the hard way, that's not always the case. You're right behind me, the corner of an apartment building torn off. You can see there's actually a tree out here. Down here, metal framing to this building. They're trying to disperse some of these crowds out here. There are what was called pepper balls deployed. This is one of them that we actually saw. It's basically like a paintball, but it releases smoke. We're just on one side of it. You can see the collections have been quite successful. Some of those local shelters tell us that they're so underfunded, so overpacked, that a lot of these people are forced to live in these makeshift homeless camps. The basket was made. The question was it a two-pointer or a three-pointer? We were just up a little closer to a home that many officers were searching out there, guns drawn, flashlights on.
Omaha, are you listening? The mosque that is part of the Tri-Faith Initiative has ties to the Muslim Brotherhood.
Paul Anderson calls them terrorists.
I got this evidence from a very reliable source.
Do you have copies of the evidence?
No, I don't. I didn't print it off.
What is the evidence that you have?
I just Googled it.
He sources websites, articles written by groups that call themselves watchmen, inspiring the lost with the hope of Christ.
Do you think that you're kind of blurring the line between a terrorism group and a faith group?
No.
I think it's a cheap job to try and get votes.
Rana Jafar is a board member at the Islamic Center of Omaha.
Any place that is dedicated to worship will be called a mosque.
Like the Islamic Center itself. But Anderson says he wants to use the city's resources to stop the construction of the new mosque being built on the Tri-Faith Initiative campus here in Omaha.
There will be no mosque in Omaha.
He doesn't know his city too well because there already are 3 mosques.
Anderson says he coined the phrase Muslim ban from President Donald Trump, but his ban isn't just about traveling. He doesn't think Muslims should be allowed to worship in the U.S.
Assimilate. Become an American. I don't have a problem with immigration.
They just have to be Christians.
Or no faith, or Jewish.
Have you ever been to a mosque and have you ever spoken to a Muslim? And if you haven't, I advise you to do that before you make any conclusion that anybody should not be allowed to worship.
In the District 1 race, Anderson is looking to beat out 8-year incumbent Pete Festerson and 19-year-old Grant Sturrock, who is a student at UNO. Anderson tells me the fate of the April 4th election is now in God's hands. Reporting live in the studio tonight, Don Granese, WOWT 6 News.
I took these pictures after her surgery, and this is my Lulu.
Lulu, it's the affectionate nickname family have for 11-year-old Elizabeth Gilreath, the girl with the long red hair.
That is one of her favorite things. She loves her hair.
After sliding off a carnival ride seat, her hair was caught in the still spinning mechanism. It yanked her entire scalp off.
It went on for 5 to 10 minutes, everybody told me, while it ripped and pulled my daughter around. They don't even know if the muscles will work and my daughter will be able to see again. That is our baby.
Surveillance video from the nearby shop, Dr. de Computadores, shows the moment the ride starts to slow. This mother runs to physically stop the ride. The family calls her a hero.
I didn't know this child was without hair. I didn't know it was my child or anything. I just knew there was a child. She needed help.
As for the operator of the ride, he's seen running from the chaos, possibly to get help, but the family shocked he didn't act sooner.
I don't understand how this man did not notice my daughter laying on the ground.
She was tortured.
Though she was emotional Sunday night, Mom says she's trying to keep those tears out of the hospital room.
I can't let my daughter see it. I have to stay strong.
Strong and thankful for her daughter's doctors.
Surgical doctors, everybody played a big role, and they saved my daughter's life, and I cannot thank them enough.
This fence might look a little too tall for most dogs to climb, but it wasn't too tall for a dog named Cora, and this wasn't even the highest that she would climb.
The dispatch was like, wait a minute, you have a what in a tree?
We want to know if they were messing with us.
A Great Dane stuck in a tree.
It was like, how on earth did you get up there?
When Wes McGurk came home from dinner in the city, his not-so-tiny puppy was whimpering 20 feet up on a tree limb.
We grabbed a ladder. I thought I could climb up there, but I can only get to the center. It was like, There's no way I'm passing that, so we called the fire department.
We rolled in and we all looked out the driver's side window and went, yeah, there's a dog up that tree, and it's a big one.
All 120 pounds of her. By this time, it was 10 p.m. and Cora was shivering cold.
She stayed put. She was not going to move from that spot. When I even crawled up to her, she was not going to move from that spot. So I just kind of held on to her and calmed her down. And it's like, okay, honey, they're going to be here shortly. We'll get you out of this tree.
The plan was to have a tarp ready to catch her if she fell, but the Cache County Sheriff's canine handler would attach a harness to lower her down.
It took two of us to put the harness on her.
And once she was secured,
she wheeled down about halfway and then fell the rest of the way.
Some of the harness stitching came loose, but that's what the tarp is for.
We cushioned the fall pretty well. And like I said, he walked in, went into the house like nothing happened.
Safe and sound, Cora went about her business, happy to meet her new rescue team friends.
I could see a cat getting stuck in a tree, but never a 120-pound dog. Never.
It's one of those that we'll talk about down here for a long time.
Fingers crossed it won't happen again.